Hi everybody, it's your boy Jimmy Wicked, Canadian Comic God, back with another informative video. Today we're going to be covering two different things. First off, I'm going to be covering something I like to call dumpster diving, which I'll explain a little later on. Don't worry, I'm not going to have you guys crawling through people's garbage looking for Ultimate Fallout #4 or something behind the comic book store. It's not what it's about. And I'm going to be doing another unboxing video a little later on. I have some other cheaper picks that I found from eBay, local comic book stores, and such that I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what I'm trying to talk about when I talk about dumpster diving, which is just trying to get a quality book that is almost a guaranteed shot to give you return on your investment, or at least has shelf life, or even if it does dip down a little bit in popularity or price, it still has a guaranteed dollar value range where if you can find it at a cheap enough price, you're almost guaranteed to make a dollar on it. So if you guys could go and like this video, hit the notification bell, subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. We're also going to be starting to put together our seasonal sampler packs. This year's Christmas seasonal sampler pack will include for everybody a copy of Free Comic Book Days Spider-Man Venom #1. We do 10 of these. They're completely free. You just have to pay the shipping, that's all. There will be 10 random people drawn. And one of those will actually, instead of this, will get a copy of the grand prize winner, I guess you could say, would get a copy of the Death of Doctor Strange White Fox #1, which I don't have sitting around here at the moment. But yeah, if you could go like it and hit the subscribe, the notification bell. Also follow me on the Instagram account for the online store, which is Wicked's Comics and Collectibles. That'd be greatly appreciated. And yeah, you'll be automatically entered to get a sampler seasonal pack containing the Spider-Man Venom #1, as well as some other related Spider-Man random titles, and so on and so forth. And then the grand prize winner will get Doctor Strange White Fox. So moving on. Like I said, I wanted to cover something I'd like to call dumpster diving with you guys. I like to keep these videos not just fun and fresh and whatnot, but a little informative too for people that have decided to join this hobby or industry, want to make a dollar, so on and so forth. When I talk about dumpster diving, that's just what I refer to it as. There's a lot of people that'll say something similar to what I'm about to say, and I'm sure they call it their own term, but that's just what I call it. By dumpster diving, I mean there are sources such as your local comic book shop or your LCS, as we like to call it, that you can go to and find bins of back issue comics for a dollar an issue, $2 an issue. There are other places to do this as well, not just local comic book shops, but also I find flea markets, the hawk shops, pawn shops, antique malls will sometimes have some superhero memorabilia and have boxes of back issues where you can actually really score some good old stuff. So for this little informative video, I'm not going to show you guys exactly every issue I got. I try to take a bit of a sampler. I actually got a stack about this deep, so I'm only going to give you guys about this many of it. Just keep the video moving along. But just to give you an idea of some of the stuff that you can find, like I said, none of this is going to be, Amazing Fantasy 15 first appearance of Spider-Man or, the Ultimate Fallout 4. I have heard stories where people, where a guy went to a gas station and rolled into a gas station and seen a copy of Ultimate Fallout 4 on one of those little spinny rack things in the gas station. And I think he got it for like $5 or something, like basically cover price. And it's like, it's insane what that book would be worth now. Like, so there are ways to do this. And just, keep your eyes peeled for certain things. Like I said, so these were actually bought from a local LCS near my house. And they have a $2 bin. And I'm such a good customer there too that I've built such a good repertoire with this business, which I also recommend to repetitiously go back once a week, once every 2 weeks, possibly once a month, and build a rapport with these store owners, and even on the $1-2 books, you can sometimes still get a deal. I actually got these $2 these $2 comics for tax out, which actually made them, I think, before tax would have made their cost, I think, like $1.80 an issue or something before tax, something like in and around there. So yeah, so I mean that's a really good score, mind you. They had boxes of them, and it took me about an hour to go through every single issue to find this many that I decided to take. But they had a lot of good older stuff, a lot of number ones, a lot of smaller print run stuff, smaller comic book companies. And as we get into the bottom of this, you'll really start to see what I mean by dumpster diving or finding the diamond in the rough, so to speak, about where you can actually within the trash find things that have value, that will almost guarantee you a return on your investment. So just to show you about how some of the dumpster diving is gone. And remember, these are $2 issues, so you're never going to find necessarily pure gold, but there are some silver stuff in there, and I don't mean golden age or silver age, I just mean quality. Mind you, some of these are some older books, and some of them are newer. Bit of a mixed match. Like I said, they had boxes, had to go through them all. But moving on, I'd like to show you guys the first one here. So this I picked up today for $1.80. So this is Golden Key Comics, Twilight Zone. I believe it's number 70. I do believe. Time was the tyrant that had to be stopped. So again, these aren't meant, but these are older comics, I believe, late 60s, possibly early 70s. So you're talking like a 50-year-old comic here. Pretty straight edges, pretty good corners. There are very small, minor color breaking spine ticks that you could probably see here on the video. Possibly there's one right there. So this comic is by no means or shape or form a perfect, candidate for a 9.8. But for the age of these comics, and these comics are actually getting more and more popular, this pre-code horror type of genre of comic is becoming more and more popular. Twilight Zone, obviously, great name. Like I said, very, very good condition. I think fair market value for this runs somewhere between 5 and 10. I can't remember right off the top of my head. It could be 7, it could be 5. These fluctuate up and down, but the market for these are getting hot. So for $1.80 for my investment, and for those of you who don't know, fair market value would mean, or we call it FMV in the business, would mean basically the average price for what you would pay for an average quality issue of this magazine. So I would say that this is slightly above average quality, so I'd probably put it closer to that $7 mark. But so for my $1.80 investment, you're talking, 2, 3, 4 times maybe my money back. So solid book here. Happy with this. Twilight Zone. Time. That was the tyrant that had to be stopped. So moving on. Another one that I happened to pick up in the same bin here is a number 1. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a huge fan of old Image comics back in the day. Like, I'm that older kind of comic collector guy that Image was like the thing back in the day. And I love some of the artists that they had at the time. This is a number 1 issue, Mark Teixeira work. It's absolutely beautiful. I used to love his work on some of the X-Men comics and whatnot back in the day. He has a very dark style, and it's just, for some books, it pops. This is one of those books that I think Teixeira's work is just absolutely gorgeous on. This is a foil cover, number 1. I believe the fair market value for this is somewhere around $5 again, possibly 6 to 7 as well again. And this is absolutely immaculate. No spine ticks at all. Pretty sharp corners. The embossed foil cover is just gorgeous, like I said. There's a little bit of a blunted corner here, so you may get 9.6, 9.4 for this if I was to get it graded. Whether or not I'll do that for any of these, I don't know. Again, these are just cheap buys. You can keep them around and almost guarantee yourself a return on your investment. So this here is Union number 1. And you can see that beautiful, beautiful embossed foil cover there. Mark Teixeira, Union number 1. Paid $1.80. Beautiful book. Moving on. Another dumpster dive that I think was really good. And we're going to just cut through some of these number 1s that I bought, because there's a couple here in a row. as well as at Union. I'm a big fan of some of the smaller companies. Not that they have some of the best books or best papers or best artists, inks, stories, so on and so forth, but I love the originality of some of the books that have come out over the years from other companies that aren't from the big two, or I like to say even big three. I like to think that DC and Marvel are the big two, but that Image, especially now, with some of their stuff really taking off again, Spawn Universe, there's movies in the works apparently, Netflix TV shows. I could go on and on and on. But there are other companies too that have really strived over the last several years. Valiant is one of my favorites. I love a lot of the stuff that Valiant has made over the years. Where some places don't know the value of some of these books, like I said. Like I said, these are $2 issues, people, and some of them are just quite little treasures. But moving on. So here's another one. So this is a number one. This is from Continuity Comics. And this, I think, is another just absolutely gorgeous quality comic. The spine is absolutely beautiful. No spine ticks as far as I can tell. There's no creasing or dents or anything as far as I can see. I may have to take a look when it's out of the bag. Sharp corners, sharp edges, absolutely beautiful. Nice artwork. Number one, this is Miss Mystic, and this is her origin issue, Continuity Comics, number one. And again, ladies and gentlemen, these are $2 comics. I believe fair market value for that is near 10. So again, probably in around 7 on an average. But that, I think, is an above average copy. That is an absolutely beautiful copy. Here's another one, moving on. So this is Impact Comics. I actually have another copy of this. That's why I picked this up. I figured, you know what? Screw it. We'll have 2 copies of this. Maybe give this away as a freebie one day. Who knows? But so this is another number one. It's not the best copy. It has a slight wrap problem that possibly a press may actually be able to help. It looks like maybe a bit of a slight spine roll there. But this here is Impact Comics, The Comet number one. So again, number one issue, Impact Comics. I believe this is from the late 80s, early 90s, number one. Fair market value for some of these Impact Comics can get kind of low depending on which ones they are. I believe this Comet issue runs somewhere between 4 to 6. So call that 5-ish. So yeah, and this isn't the best quality one so I've seen, so probably closer to a 4. But this was just to prove a point, and again, I spent $1.80, I think, on the issue, so I could easily probably double up with a copy of Impact Comics, The Comet number one. Okay, another one to show you guys here. That's a number one that I'm actually a huge fan of. Like I said, I loved some of the work that was coming out of this company back in the day. This is absolutely beautiful artwork, if you ask me. I believe it might even have a wraparound cover. It actually says $20 on the back. I think originally this might have been on sale for $20. So that just actually shows you what I meant by me spending $2 on a comic book. That, if you can see on the back there, on this little piece of tape, there's a 20. So I'm thinking they sold this originally for $20. But again, I think this is a really good comic. It had a really good run. Some very decent artwork, especially for the time, especially for a smaller company. But so this is Valiant Comics, Solar Man of the Atom, number one. Beautiful, beautiful book. Absolutely flawless copy. $1.80, people. This is what I mean by dumpster diving and finding good product that can almost guarantee you return on investment. Solar Man of the Atom, number one. My cost, $1.80. The actual price on the front of this comic book, American, was $1.75, Canadian $2.25. So for those of you that are up here in the Great White North with me, that means that I just paid less than original cover price for a comic book that is in absolutely flawless condition from about 30 years ago. So this is what I mean, people. Keep your eyes open for this sort of stuff. Now there's only a few more books here to go, people, then we're going to get to the unboxing super quick. This is a newer comic. I'm just a fan of the series. This is again what I said about how Image Comics and some of the stuff that they have done recently. It's just groundbreaking work. I think they've been doing groundbreaking work since the '90s. This is a very, very popular comic, a specific run that I do not have completed. There's a slight spine tick here. It doesn't exactly break color. A couple of little smaller ones. Edges and corners are pretty good. I think this comic averages fair market value for 5 to 10. I again picked it up for $1.80 today. This will help me complete my run for The Walking Dead. This is The Walking Dead number 160. Very nice book. So, here's where dumpster diving gets a little interesting, people. So, these last two books that I've picked up for $2 prove the idea of dumpster diving to guarantee return on investment to a T. These two books are both not only in their original polybag from the 90s. I believe these are actually from 1990. Could be 91, 92, but I believe they're from 1990. It's still in their original polybags from the 90s, containing, all that junk that they used to give us back in the 90s with our polybag number ones. Says on the front, Skybox trading card, exclusive cover poster, 4 panels of giant 16-panel mural, and it also includes the collector's edition number 1. Original unit price was $2.95 US, $3.95 Canadian, and I believe it's £1.20 UK. So, I know a lot of people out there, if you're new to this, maybe won't have heard of this. Collectors or people that have been in the business for a while probably will have heard of this. I believe fair market value for this comic book runs somewhere in the area between 15 to 25. I've even seen issues go for 30, sealed like this. Graded 9.8, I believe it's around $300. So you're looking at almost 10 times that at a 9.8. Sealed in its original bag, I can tell you that it's definitely white pages. Whether or not the corners and whatnot have stayed that sharp and there's no creases or dents over the years, I don't know. I may get these sent in. I actually have 2 copies of this. I would love to see if I could get one of them to come back into 9.8. I haven't quite decided that yet. But this is dumpster diving, ladies and gentlemen, at its finest. The actual next one's at its finest. We'll call this second place is at its finest. But so, ladies and gentlemen, again, $2 comic, fair market value, 25. 9.8 graded is around $300. This is the collector's edition of Icon number 1. Still in its original poly bag, still with its original card and posters. Absolutely cool looking cover, if you ask me as well. This isn't necessarily sought after for the comic itself, but I do believe it contains something within it too that pertains to the next comic I'm going to show you. Where collectors out there, I know I myself have looked for a cheap copy of this since I was a kid, because in the 90s I happened to miss the print run when it came out, and it disappeared off shelves. He hasn't really picked up popularity until recently. Nowadays, in the comic industry, this kid's almost a common a name as, say, Spider-Man, Miles Morales type of situation. But this is a highly sought after comic. Again, I believe fair market value for this is $75 to $105. Graded copies, I believe, for this come back somewhere between the $500 to $700 range at a 9.8. Again, so this is from the 90s, 30-year-old comic. Number 1, again, still in its original polybag from the 90s, containing that Skybox trading card, exclusive cover poster, 16-panel mural, and the collector's edition. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you dumpster diving at its absolute finest. I give you Static, number 1. And ladies and gentlemen, for $2, this comic book is like finding a diamond in the rough, quite literally. So honestly, like I could sell this. Like I said, I took 40 comics at $2 flat, so that's $80. Fair market value for this is 75 to 105. I could sell this comic right now as it is, and recoup the money that paid for the rest of this stack. So when people say that you should be able to turn this hobby into a business that almost funds itself, that's what people mean. So you have to decide whether or not you want to say sell that stack to say pay for this comic, or if you'd want to say sell this comic to help pay for the stack. In either way, you end up not losing a penny, but end up with product that has a dollar value. So when I say dumpster diving, people, this is exactly what I mean. Having said that, moving on. I actually received 2 packages today. One I had to go to the post office to pick up. I wasn't exactly a happy camper about that. I did get a good laugh though when they told me that my package was too big to fit in the box. I thought that was hilarious, but I didn't actually enjoy going to the post office to pick it up. But this morning, before I had to go do that, I actually received 2 newer copies of 2 books that I had placed a pre-order for, and I figured I would show you guys these really quick. I can't see the artist name. I do not remember who actually drew this, but this is the variant edition of Venom #1, which came today, which I thought was just a cool looking cover. I thought this, and I'm a huge Venom fan, this is something I just have to get for the collection. And it looks pretty mint. I might actually go get this graded. Corners are absolutely gorgeous. There's a slight little nick in the one corner, but other than that, it's pretty gorgeous. The other thing I had that was pre-ordered, as I am a huge, if anybody knows me, Batman fan, Joker, Harley Quinn, so on and so forth. So I had to, of course, get the variant cover of the Joker #7, which features an absolutely gorgeous cover of the Joker's new girlfriend, which is Punchline, and half of her face is drawn with a skull, and just the beautiful color pastel work, the purples and the blues, is absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. I think this is a definite candidate for grading. It is 9.8 as far as I can tell all dang day. So ladies and gentlemen, give you the other book here really quickly because we are running out of time. But this is the Joker #7 variant Punchline cover. Absolutely gorgeous book. Okay, people, we have, I believe, 7 more minutes here, so we're going to have to get to these next books really quick because I believe... You know what? I'm going to save this. We're going to do this one because I have to talk about this, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to have to do a part 2 to this video to be continued because I have to talk about this. You want to talk about something informative? I'll just leave the video with this last little bit of information. If you've seen the last couple videos I've done, you will know that I've complained. The first video I did when I got a shipment, the lady sent them in those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle parody books. She sent in a brown vanilla envelope sandwiched between 2 pieces of cardboard from a pizza box or something with some tape. I'm shocked they came as well as they did. The second order that I did with you guys was similar, but he had used shrink wrap, then tape, then cardboard, and then used a bubble wrapped manila envelope, which actually I don't mind what he did. It's not flawless, but he also did manage to put do not bend on it and stuff like I had asked and whatnot too. But from those videos, people, if you had remembered me speaking about what you should demand, I had asked if he could to use something like bubble wrap and et cetera, tissue paper, foam, whatever you can do. Even bigger box, higher shipping rate. I don't care. The books will come in a better condition, right? And that matters to me. Or I quite often demand this from people. I would have actually been happier if he had put this into a bubble wrapped envelope as well, to give it that extra layer of bulletproof vest, just to ensure that it will come pristine. Because again, when ordering books, and I believe these are more mid-range books. that I have here. I believe, let's see, where is this parcel from? This one came from, oh, this one came from York. So this one didn't come from too far. This came from Toronto. So this should actually be okay. I didn't have to travel too far. Again, if you are getting something from far away, say like the other side of the country, days worth of shipping away, I do recommend maybe getting another extra layer, as it will be going through many more people's hands, many more machines, many more vehicles, so on and so forth. How they weren't able to fit my package into their tight little box, I don't know. This isn't that big. But ladies and gentlemen, this is what I am trying to tell you. This is what you should be demanding. So this is a Gemini mailer. This is exactly what you should demand from people. It's literally meant, if you can see the box, it's designed to hold magazines to be shipped in a secure state. And then again, he didn't have to write "do not bend," fragile, handle with care, absolutely perfect. I'm quite pleased with this, but unfortunately we are running out of time. So we're gonna have to do another video. I promise I'll do another video for the unboxing of this. I'll actually record it right after this. It'll be a part 2, and you can watch it then. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this and found this informative. Dumpster diving 101. And again, people, don't forget to sign up for the seasonal sampler package. This year's holiday seasonal sampler will contain, absolutely free, you just pay the shipping. It will contain Spider-Man and Venom number 1s, as well as a random assortment of other Spider-Man, Venom related comic books. Whether it's him on the cover, guest starring, and as well as there will be one lucky winner out of the 10 drawn for this that will receive the Death of Doctor Strange number 1, the White Fox. Who is around here hiding somewhere in the stacks of comics. But yeah, so if you could like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, it'd be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to follow my Instagram online store as well, which we post videos as well as books for sale, whatnot as well. And that is Wicked's Comics and Collectibles. And thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later. Jimmy Wicked, Canadian Comic God. Peace out.